episode of the Occasionally Accountable
Pew,
podcast.
pew, pew, pew.
Yes,
Pew.
welcome
Just
back.
saying,
No, it
annoying.
needs more prr. Welcome back.
We need
welcome
bells
back.
and whistles. That's the thing.
Yeah. So, Brittany, how are you doing?
Yo, yeah. I told you before. I am in a space of feeling like I am sitting in the center of a storm, like the eye of a tornado. I don't know the difference between a hurricane and a tornado. I don't know. I want to admit that out loud, but
One
there
has
it is.
water.
Oh,
One doesn't.
tornado then.
Okay.
Let's call it that.
Yeah.
Where it's like, I don't know, the center is weirdly peaceful, but it's still like, there's a tornado around you. And like, how the
You're
fuck
like,
you supposed to
"Ah."
get out? Like,
That's real.
and so it's like, I'm waiting. It's all hectic and moving and all of the things. And I have to accept that all I can do is wait for the things to settle, for the path to be clear, because I'm not about to force my way through a fucking tornado.
Not possible. I've actually driven in a tornado before.
Wait, what?
Not because I wanted to. I didn't know that there was a tornado happening, and I was leaving work. I knew there was a storm, but how here like the tornadoes just be popping up. So I thought I could get home before anything happened, and I'm driving, and then at some point everything like completely went white, like completely, and I heard the sirens, and my mom called me, and she's like, "There's a tornado over there," and I was like, "What?" There was nothing I could do. I literally was just in my car like. I turned the gospel station on and it was like,
Not the gospel. She said,
right.
"Give me the Kirk Franklin right quick."
Run me the Kirk Franklin. And a police officer pulled up next to me and kind of helped guide me to like a place that was at least safe because I was like on the middle of an intersection. So yes, you would not want to navigate
really want to
that.
know what the gospel song was.
I don't even know. Something. I was so scared. I have not been that scared, maybe ever, because I was like, my mom just told me there's a tornado and there's nothing to do. She didn't help. She was just like, there's a tornado. And I was like, all right, cool. Well.
Yesterday I had watched the episode of Drink Champs that had the game on there. And he was saying that he doesn't fly. And I guess it's like the fear of flying. And he was like, yeah, but like, if I'm flying and a plane goes down, then I have the song I'm about to listen to as it happens. And I'm like, what? Like, that's weirdly morbid. But also,
That's
like,
so
I don't know
funny.
if you've been a street nigga your whole life. You probably think about death way more than the average person.
Probably.
But shout out to all the people who listen who are from Oakland. His go down song was Guapole. Closer to My Dreams. That's a Oakland. She's our Oakland, queen. We love her. But I thought to myself, first of all, the idea of having a song prepared, and he said the name. He's like, yeah, it's in a playlist, and the playlist is called like "If I Die" or some shit like that. I don't remember the exact words.
That's bringing a lot of weird.
But I was like, okay, it feels a little manifesty to me, but I'm gonna leave that where it's at. You made it to 42, nigga.
And you know how sometimes Spotify just be picking random playlists? What if it just accidentally plays your If You Die playlist?
Man, I'm also like, and then how do you feel if you're just out in the world and you hear it? Like,
that you're about to die?
Do you just love the dream? Do you love the song, or do you feel like how he was? I was like, this nigga's a lot of energy. He might just be. I don't know. I feel like if you really in that life for real, not just like, oh, I sell a couple things, but you really in gang culture, because he's a pyro. I'm like, oh, y'all brains operate completely different than I even can understand.
Having a playlist for your imminent death is
yeah, yours is gospel, huh?
Mine, it was in that moment. I was like, Jesus, please help.
I don't even know what mine would be. I might not be mad at a gospel option. It's like
a little Fred Hammond.
That or like an India Arie.
A little India Arie.
I could get with that. Like if I got I always think of what is that, Titanic, when the band was playing as it was going down.
Literally.
Like, weird ass niggas. If I don't go try to float on this
literally,
cello,
if you don't go find a float boat and get up out, you better float on that cello and get up out of here.
Like what?
Oh,
Use
gosh.
that stand to push me in the water.
It was too much dramatics going on in that boat for me.
That's hilarious. What your song would be gospel?
It would be, and it would be in that genre. But I could
it's
go
a
with
weird
India
thing to
Ari.
think about, but you know.
I could go India Ari for sure.
Yeah, India could. She could take me out.
Yeah, for sure.
She could cross me over safely.
But she took all her music off Spotify. Is it back on Spotify? At one point, she took it all off.
I got it off of Apple.
Oh,
but I need to find a way to commit to streaming people's shit personally, because
I know
all of the above is getting screwed.
I know but how do you stream people's music?
There's ways in which you can buy it directly.
Oh yeah,
and I don't know. I'm sure somebody listening that does music can tell us, but I don't know. How are you?
I'm okay. This has been a week full of transition. And so I don't know if I resonate with the storm analogy, but I was like,
She's like, my center's not calm, so I think I'm in the tornado.
I do understand the
That's
storm.
me swirling around you, making noise every time.
Literally, that's me.
That's that imagery is hilarious.
Yeah, but you know what? I think if I could just step outside of it for a second, it is actually really an exciting time, because now I have to use all these things that I've been talking about. So I'm moving out of my apartment, which I just hate, and I got a new job, and you know, we've got some exciting things going on here with the podcast, and so yeah, it's just a lot of transitioning.
I feel that. I feel that.
Yeah. Well, speaking of the exciting things that are happening with the podcast, so our friends and fam and listeners, we are deciding to, this will be our last episode. This will be our last episode of the Occasionally Accountable podcast. It's bittersweet. It's super exciting because of, you know, the idea of transitioning to the next thing. But we are just, we're happy with what happened, and excited for what we did, and excited for what's to come, and all the things. So, yeah, it's good. Bittersweet. So today I think we'll just have fun.
Yeah. So today we're gonna have fun.
Little
at
podcast
the end,
party.
we'll kind of talk about a little more of where things can be found, and et cetera, et cetera. But I wanted to bring back some of the things that we've done as our kind of like second half of our shows throughout the year, 8 months, whatever it's been. Starting with bringing back Am I the Asshole?
Ooh, a classic. You know how much I loved those. This is fun.
So sorry, let me a second to open it up. I have two.
I hope they're just toxic, just spewing with toxicity. It's the final Am I the Asshole? It's gotta be maximum.
Am I the asshole for telling my mother that she's shitty? Is the context.
Okay.
So this is a 16-year-old girl.
Oh, girl.
Which I'm like, that makes sense. Makes sense that a teenager would feel that way. But basically she's saying that she's shy and never really talked about anything. And one of the reasons was just people telling her that she was annoying, or saying that she was talking too much. So she decided to keep things to herself. This year, she decided that she wanted to actually open up and talk about her feelings and experience more, because she's tired of bottling everything up, which felt, befitting for this show. So at the dinner table, I decided to talk about my 2 soccer games I had today and yesterday. I told her that I had got better and that I even scored a goal. But after 3 minutes, she just started saying to me that I should shut up and she doesn't care about it.
Oh, God. Oh, no. It's giving Matilda.
Man. So I got up from the dinner table, told her she's shitty for that, and went straight to my room. Now I'm feeling like an asshole because maybe I should have just bottled it up again. Oh. Am I the asshole for telling my mother that she's shitty?
No, your mom is shitty. Sorry.
She's like, your mom is the asshole.
Your mom literally is shitty. Well, one, good for this person for, saying how they feel. And that's really, I just hate that. Like, I hate when people don't acknowledge, like, the effort that you're coming to the table and you're trying to express something to your mom, and then she's like, well, you're shitty anyway. It's like, well, thanks, Mom.
That's hilarious. I thought this one was interesting because I feel as though we are moving into a space collectively as people where we are starting to take more time to acknowledge, like, especially as Black people, like, emotions are real and they matter and they are important, and how we feel and how we process feelings and emotions, and social emotional learning is becoming a thing, therapy is becoming a thing, mindfulness. So it's interesting to also think about how that's going to play out into parenting. And just for the sake of empathy and devil's advocate of, like, the mom, it's like, this is a teenager writing this, so who knows how, how accurate, fully accurate it is, right? But I also think that, what's interesting to me with parenting is, like, if you ever want to have the greatest test of your patience, have a fucking baby. Like, and when I think about, like, if you've got, she said that she has other siblings, and I'm like, if this is a mom, maybe it's a single mother, maybe it's not, who knows? She doesn't mention the dad at all, but, and you got multiple kids, and you went to your job all day, and you're tired, and you're exhausted, and your emotions are heightened because you're exhausted, and it's harder to practice patience, and the daughter's just going on about something, and, like, if you are just like, I'm tired, and you change the subject. This person said, like, what did she say? She said that she was like, she said she doesn't care about it. That's a wild ass thing to say. She didn't care? Yeah, she just started saying that I should shut up and she doesn't care about it. That feels dramatic, but I mean, it happens. It happens. I mean, working in education, you see a very large range of how people parent. So it's possible, but for sure. And I don't want to take away this girl's experience, but I do have the empathy of, like, sometimes you just don't have it and you miss the mark and you're not always able to, like, show up emotionally for your kid. Which I think for me, or why I found this interesting, is because I also feel like that's going to be, if I consider having kids, that's going to be one of the most challenging things for me, is, like, the practice of something that I may not have ever experienced or seen, and having to be there, like, emotionally for your kid. Because I think it's easy to think as a parent, well, I provided you with all these things. I provided you with a better life. I provided you with the opportunity to be on the soccer team and all these other things that I may have never even seen before. Like, this is more than I've ever done. So this is why I think I'm doing this fantastic job, because it's more than I had, but it's still missing this entire other aspect of this human being. And I've also wondered, like, teenage years are going to be a fucking mess in general. Right. But I always wonder that, like, if we are working on expressing and management of emotions earlier on with kids, will that actually make teenage years smoother?
Maybe, because she said that she never felt like she could express her own feelings. And so I feel like I resonate with that a lot, of feeling like you're not allowed to feel like your mom's being shitty. You're definitely not allowed to say it, but you're not even allowed to feel it. Not allowed to feel hard feelings, not allowed to express them. And so it came out in a way that maybe wasn't constructive. I don't think that she should be calling her mom shitty, even though her mom was shitty. There was a better way of communicating what you felt than that. And the reason why she wasn't able to do that is because she probably didn't have the tools to be able to communicate early on.
That's real.
Yeah. I'm sorry that happened to you. That sucks.
So to your point, baby girl, you are not shitty. You are not an asshole. You might get an ass whooping, but you're not an asshole for feeling that way. But there's probably better ways to express.
Yeah, maybe not nice. Start there. That mom that wasn't nice. Jumping straight to shitty seems a little extreme. From my conservative parenting view.
That's hilarious. What you gonna do when your kids express emotions that you don't like?
Yeah, I mean, and I hope that they do. I just have to remember that I feel this way, because in the moment I feel like I wouldn't feel that way. But I do genuinely hope that they express how they feel. I do hope that if I'm being shitty, they can say it in a way that is clear to me and is a mirror. That's what I hope happens. I have to prepare myself for what that looks like, though. But I hope so. I hope so.
I hate you, Mom.
I'm like, oh, Okay, thank you for feeling that. But I'm resisting the urge to slap you in the head. So why don't we just separate for a moment and then we'll come back to it.
That's
yeah, it's
funny.
gonna be. That's why I'm like, kids for me is like miles down the road. Like I'm talking hundreds of miles down the road. I am nowhere near.
That's hella funny because I feel like when I first met you, you felt like that was like closer.
I want kids.
Mm-hmm.
I've recently come to terms with that, but I am not ready for kids. Are you ever ready for kids? It's
no.
a lot.
I think you become. I mean, I think. I don't know if ready is the right word. I think you could become more prepared, but I don't think ready ever really happens. I think you just become better at. I think the more you can understand and learn yourself, the better it'll be with like being able to actually parent kids. Because I think it's being able to like better identify like what's your shit, so you're not constantly just putting projecting all over a toddler. You know?
Getting mad at a toddler for wanting milk, like okay,
it's like, oh my god, you like
always
spilled
hungry.
this juice everywhere. It's like that bitch can barely hold her neck up. Like
her
why?
Neck is leaning to the left. Of course, the milk
why would
fell.
she not spill this juice?
No, for real. Oh gosh,
yeah. Okay.
Cool beans.
And the next one is
the pop culture segment.
Oh, we're doing one.
Oh shoot, no. I forgot we doing two.
Nope,
it's a double feature.
Gonna rock with it.
Okay. We're gonna go right into the pop culture. So, the news article that I wanted to share with you. I don't know if people watching this has seen this, but allegedly not allegedly because it really did happen. There was a truck that was leaving the mint, which is where they print money, and it was filled with $200,000 of dimes. And this truck decided to spend the night in a Walmart parking lot, which, of all the places you would spend the night with money in your truck, you want to send it in the Walmart parking lot. I don't even want to go in the Walmart, let alone park outside the Walmart with $200,000. But anyway, so a group of 5 men dressed in all black decided to heist the truck full with dimes. Of course, that did not go well, and they spilled hundreds and thousands of dimes across the Walmart parking lot. And I think this is the funniest thing in the world because thinking about these men trying to like hoist these trash cans filled with dimes into, I guess, a truck at some point. Like, what was the thought process? Who was the person that said, all right, bro, I got a finesse for you. And then you figure out what the finesse is and you are hauling, I'm imagining like 10, 20 buckets filled with dimes in the middle of the night and you think you're not going to get caught? Like, I just don't understand what the theory was, the logic behind it. So my question to you from this is...
I also would like to make snow angels with the dimes.
And the aerial view is hilarious because it's all these dimes, so it looks like an ocean because it's like the light is reflecting off the dimes. So it's just a literal parking lot filled with dimes.
That part would be lit.
Right? Somebody should be out there with a bucket and just scooping dimes in the thing. And also, how are you going to turn this into actual cash? Like, I just don't understand the thought process. But anyway, my question to you around this is, what is the wildest thing you have tried to do and did you get away with it? As far as like, was there like a finesse that you did? Did you, take a little nail polish from a Walmart? Because I have a story to share.
A wild story of like
a finesse,
steal something.
Not like stealing. It doesn't have to be stealing, but like a finesse in some way. Like, what's something that you and your friends did that was kind of wild that you like either did or didn't get away with? That's like sneaky, finessey.
You go first because I'm gonna have to think about that.
So the story that I was thinking about, I was I was in the Walmart. And you know how like you're like looking for nail polishes or whatever. The nail polishes are like $7, $8, $9, $10. And I really wanted this nail polish and it was like $10. And so I decided, just like I put it in my purse. And I didn't really think anything of it because I was like, it is what it is. I'm going through the machine and the machine thing goes off. Like, it starts ringing. And I knew that like I didn't obviously pay for it. And he was like, oh, ma'am, can I see your receipt? didn't have the receipt. So I get on my phone. I pretend like I'm talking to my dad. I pretend like I have an emergency call or something. I'm like, oh my gosh, Dad, yes, I'm coming. And literally like sprint out of the Walmart with my $10 nail polish. And that was the first and last time I've ever stolen, because I'm not built for that shit.
I'm like, I was never really into stealing anything. Like, that was never really.
I was a very sneaky kid though. Like I was
my
doing all
jammy
the
jam.
things.
We would like finesse like in ways of like cutting lines or sneaking into shit without paying type of thing. I guess in a way that's stealing, but like sneaking into shit that we weren't supposed to be in, or sneaking into shit that we didn't wear the appropriate age to be at. I feel like a lot of my finessing was like a lot of like lying to my parents so that I can go do the things I wanted to do. Go do hood rat shit with my friends or niggas.
The whole I'm sleeping over at her house, she's sleeping over at mine.
That's what I was thinking. That one happened a lot. A lot of like we're out, and then my what is it? My curfew is supposed to be like 10, but I don't want to go home at 10, so I'm gonna be like, well, I'm gonna just stay at whatever's house. And the reality is like I just want to be
just outside.
Yeah. I remember one time one time I was with the guy I was dating. I told my parents that I was going to be at my other, like my best friend's house. And at some point, my mom called her house. Luckily, no one was there, as opposed to like her mom answering. So no one answered the phone. And I think my mom, for some reason, it was back then we didn't have cell phones or whatever. So, but the number would still pop up on the phone, so you know who called. So I think my friend was at home, but like her parents weren't. Yeah. And I had called her and told her what I was doing. And so when she saw the number, she called me and was like, your mom is calling. I don't know what you want me to do. And so what we did was we three-way called my mom. So like
that's genius.
Yeah. So like I was talking to my mom. She was in the background. And I told her to make sure like the phone was away from her, but kind of talk or whatever. My mom still was like, "You lying about something?" Like and it's funny now because I feel like when I became a teacher and I taught with like high school students, a lot of the like weird shit that they were doing to lie to their parents, I was like, "Nigga, this is stupid." Like your parents. I just think kids think that they're like so much farther along than their parents, sneaky wise, and I'm like, "Do you know some of the shit we used to do?" Like. This is not even close to being sneaky. So yeah, but my mom still knew something was up. And then on top of that, like, so I didn't really have an end goal because I was like kicking it with the guy that I was dating. And then like, but I couldn't like stay at his house because we were teenagers. So like his parents were there and they wasn't having that shit. So at some point I had to just like drive back home, but I couldn't go home because I lied and said. So I literally like drove up the hill and parked and like slept in my car.
Oh God! See, I can't.
And the wildest shit is that I stayed out till probably like 4 or 5 a.m. doing whatever. I'm driving home, and it's probably like maybe it's not when I was driving home. I think I was driving. I had parked to sleep or I had like parked to kind of come back down or whatever. And as I was going, my mom, because at that house you had to like walk out of the house to go around the side of the house to go down into the laundry room. Yeah. And she was like walking out or whatever. And it was just like, I couldn't tell, like, I feel in my spirit, I felt like she can fucking see my car because I was like driving past the house at that time. And I was still trying to like wherever I was going, I wasn't trying to go home yet because I was like, it doesn't make sense for me to come home this early. Like this is hella early. And I for some reason feel like she saw me because I was like, in what world would the timing be that she would walk outside with a basket of clothes the moment I drive by? So I was doing like finessing shit like that. I wasn't really like stealing. Like I think the only time I ever think I stole something intentionally. Like there's times I've walked out with things on accident. I was like, you know what? Nope, because I don't even think that was one of those times where I don't even think I knew I had taken it, and it wasn't until I had got out and I realized it. But then I was trying to like hide it.
Mm-hmm.
But then I felt hella bad, and my parents were like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" And I was a kid. I was like probably 8.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I think I accidentally, took this, and blah, blah, blah. And they're like, all right, well then, like, let's just go.
Get it back.
Actually, no, let me not lie. My parents didn't take me to give it back because we're niggas. They were just, because whatever it was I took was something super small. It would have been like less than $5. They were like, well, at least you know you're not supposed to steal, blah, blah. I'm like, we know how to drive all the way back to this fucking store. Like, but yeah, I wasn't really that. I was more of a I'm trying to be outside finesser.
Yeah. I definitely swiped that hoe and ran. I was like, he gonna have to catch me for this nail polish. I'm not going down like that. But Walmart doesn't play. Like, Walmart will really put you in jail for stealing. Like,
really?
Yeah.
Because I feel like, isn't Walmart they were just threatening to close because so much stuff is being stolen.
From stealing. Yeah, I guess that's why they were trying to crack down, and it didn't too many people were running, taking off. They needed a doorman with a little more grit. They needed
to have real like cameras and shit like
that. They
that.
really did. I mean, and that's why everything's like locked down. You go to buy tampons and you gotta ask for a sales associate.
Right? It's like, can I have this deodorant? And it's behind a glass case. Like,
if you don't give me this degree and
funky and stealing, like, what is going on? I also feel like it's very racist because you notice that there's more shit locked up in certain neighborhoods than others. But
yeah, I went to this what is that area called? Not Oak Cliff. It's like a predominantly black neighborhood here in Dallas, and they had the baby formula locked up. I was like, good Lord.
That kind of makes sense. Nigga was gonna steal.
And the diapers, and like, I was like, I had never seen that. That's a bit. All my baby just from some Pampers.
Yeah. But yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think that their stealing stealing in general was a terrible idea, but that was the stupidest plan I've ever.
Some stealing is like, depends on, it depends on who you're stealing from.
If you're going to steal, if you're going to finesse, if somebody hits you up with a finesse plan, get all the details and make sure that the plan is thoroughly thought out, because at some point, something did not go right for that many dimes to hit the parking lot floor. What did y'all get away with? Probably like $100 with all them dimes.
You got away with nothing because you got caught.
And like, what, you're gonna go to the bank and just try to cash in all these dimes? Where are you going? You have to melt them down and make little souvenirs and sell them on Etsy at this point.
They are still in these kind of like converters, so maybe there's something. Maybe they about to sell it to the
catalytic converter out of dimes.
Well, because they steal the catalytic converters for whatever the metal is in there. That there's something valuable in whatever the metal is. I don't know enough information, but I don't know what metal it is, but there's some kind of metal in there that's super valuable. So that's why they steal them and sell them. They're selling them for whatever that metal is in there. But
come up with a better finesse. Still nail polish.
That is hella funny. This or that, which means I owe you $5 because I did not expect you to really remember.
When you said that, I was like, I have to do it now. I have to do it now.
Monetarily motivated.
We gotta know our motivators. Okay, so this or that. This is last week. Brittany did a this or that had me so freaking stressed. I was literally sweating.
That's funny.
I don't think this or that is gonna be that stressful. But
are the rules the same?
Dramatic. Rules are the same.
I can't ask context.
You can't ask context.
Do you want me? Stop moving your mic.
Sorry.
Do you want to? Do I need to explain my choice or no?
Yeah. That'd be yeah.
Okay.
Start with the easy one. Wear all black or wear all white?
All black.
Okay.
Easy.
All right.
Yeah.
You don't explain it?
All white get dirty easy.
I didn't think about the practicality. I was thinking, damn, black is hot. But no, I didn't think about the practicality. White gets dirty easily. Forever or never?
Never. I have a lot of commitment issues.
Okay.
Sagittarius in me that loves freedom, like the idea of one thing forever is like, nah, never.
Forever seems like a long time. Optimist or realist?
Optimist.
Yeah.
Optimist. Fuck realism. No, I'm lying. Let me not say fuck realism. I believe that people who are realists are valuable. They ground me. But I believe in delusional optimism.
High levels of optimism.
I think that I personally feel like this would be an extremely depressing world to live in if I wasn't optimistic.
Yeah.
So
for sure,
optimism all day.
Yeah, we need hella optimists in the planet, especially the way our planet be looking. Live with your family or live with a roommate.
I'm like whatever the other option.
I've had some bad roommate experiences though.
Whatever the other option is. No, I love my family, but first of all, when you say family, I'm like, dealing with one person versus dealing with 5, that's a lot.
That's true. You have a big family. That's true.
And on top of that, like, no, I have, I haven't had a lot of bad roommate experiences. Now that I think about it, I don't know that I've really had any.
Did you dorm in college?
Yes, but like I've been blessed. I've been blessed. Oh, okay. I had one bad roommate experience, and it wasn't bad. She was just fucking annoying.
Mm-hmm.
But no, my first year of college in the like tiny dorms, my roommate was only there like 3 months, and then she did a study abroad on like a boat thing for the rest of the year. And they didn't move anybody in.
I was so jealous of people who had that.
Yeah, somebody on the floor asked if they could move in because they got into it with their roommate, and I was like, no, I don't know you.
You don't get into it with me too,
right? Like, I'm a random white girl. I'm just talk about how you struggling. But then past that, I've only ever lived in shared like roommates in the space of like we had our own room. So I'm like, after that, like I can always just go to my own room, worst case scenario. But even then past that, for multiple years, I lived with my really, really close, still to this day, best friends. And then when I moved off campus, I lived with my best friends. And then I moved to another place off campus. That was the one time, like, one of my friends that was actually my original first roommate, her friend moved in with me because my last roommate left because we had graduated, but I was staying next year to get my teaching credential. She was annoying because it was just like her boyfriend was always over, and it was just very. She grew up she was white and grew up in a very rural white area. She would be leaving like the door unlocked or open and shit like that.
The front door?
Yeah, and I'm from Oakland, so I'm like, bitch, have you lost your goddamn mind?
It's getting set up.
Man, she was interesting. And then after that, I lived either by myself or obviously I lived with my ex-husband at some point. And then, yeah, when I went back to the Bay, I had 2 really great roommates because they was never there. Like we could all still cool to this day, and it worked out because they weren't really there. One of them, she had a boyfriend who had a house, so she was always with him, and then the other one. She would be on trips and shit. Shout out to you. She would be on trips and shit or go stay with friends, et cetera, et cetera. So I honestly have not had bad roommate experiences. So I would definitely go with roommate.
But my life is this way where I end up in scenarios like this all the time. Like I literally think it should be a bibliography. Biography?
A bibliography?
Bibliography is the citation one. The biography. I need to, like, write all this stuff down. So I had one roommate who didn't believe in taking... That's not true. She didn't believe in taking showers with soap. She was
white.
A rural white girl, and she believed in showering with coffee grounds. She didn't believe in brushing her teeth with toothpaste. She pooled with...
oil pooling.
Oil pooling. That's what she did. No real deodorant. It was baking soda. I think she ended up using like powder baking soda.
She was a natural mummy.
But to the millionth degree, which is fine. But she would leave the coffee grounds all over the bathroom floor. And one day, it was like spring break, and she was the only one that was there. So me and this other girl who was also living there came back. Ants everywhere. And you couldn't tell what was an ant and what was the coffee grounds. And she had still been living there. It wasn't like we came back and the ants just appeared the day we came back. She had to have been showering with the ants and the coffee grounds.
The way I would have chosen differently is because now that I think about it, I'm like, the only time I've had a bad experience around roommates was when I lived with a white person. So if your question was family
or black,
the white,
oh,
because the one story I have that I was like that I thought of when you were explaining that kind of like grossed me out, and I was like, that was with my white roommate, and I'm like, okay,
they live completely different. I don't think everybody showers with coffee grounds, but she definitely did, and she had no problem smelling the way that she was smelling and living the way that she was living.
Whew. One time, I had a roommate where I won't say names because I actually really fuck with you. If you ever, I don't think you'd ever see this, but I actually really liked you. But she, had, how do I phrase it? I'm gonna just come out and say it. I went to the bathroom, was using the bathroom. I looked on the ground to go pick something up because I was gonna throw it away because I figured it was supposed to be in the trash, and I was like, I thought it was a hair tie. It was her new ring. That I guess she had taken out. Which, if you are listening to the show, you don't know what that is. That's your birth control. It's a birth control ring.
Oh yeah, you do take those out. It's
literally like a ring that looks like a clear hair tie.
It does look like a hair tie.
It looks like a hair tie that's clear. And you stick it up there, and it does its thing. And at some point, at the end of the month, you take it out and you put in a new one because it like releases hormones over time. And it was just on the ground, and I almost picked it up, and something stopped me. Because at first I thought like, oh, she must have been throwing away this hair tie, and I was just about to throw it in the trash can. Something stopped me, and I was like, oh,
that was in your coochie. That is really exciting.
And then the other thing, her hair was everywhere. I don't know how white people do that.
I don't either.
But we're going to go on this rant. White people hair, I don't know how it gets everywhere. There are moments where I'm like, why is your hair in the fucking fridge? Like, this is so gross. Your hair's in the bathroom. Your hair's in the living room on the couch. Your hair's in the fucking refrigerator. Like, that's so gross. And what is hyping me up about this is the other day, literally a couple days ago, I went to go edit, and I needed to like get out of the house. So I went and sat at this coffee and wine bar.
That's really cute.
It was super cute. We gotta go there one day. And I'm sitting there editing, and these two white women come and they come outside, they sit over to the right, and they're talking, whatever. That's not my business. So I'm doing my thing. I have my headphones in, blah, blah, blah. And I go to pick up my wine glass, and there's a fucking hair across the top of it, and it's like bright green. It's this bitch to the right who had bright green hair.
Not the bright green
And
hair.
I was just like, what?
Can you control your
Does your
hair?
shit just fall out as you
I think it
exist
does.
in life?
Like,
and maybe it's like black hair because our hair is coarser. Like, if it falls out, it stays in this realm until we comb it out.
Yeah.
But it also be that they be doing the whole like.
Hi. What? You know, they do all that stuff all day long. Oh my God. That used to drive me crazy in high school.
And then she would do and then they'll do this. They'll do this little, and I'm like,
they just put their
bitch, stop sprinkling your motherfucking DNA all over me. Fuck is wrong with you? You trying to set me up for a crime?
Literally. Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
That's gonna be hella loud on the.
It is. Well,
but just keep it to yourself.
Or just like, I know you can't. Maybe they can't help it. Maybe perhaps. But I don't know. Maybe there's a vitamin for that.
And let me politically correct it up a little bit. It's not all white people.
It's not.
But it's a large percentage.
I think it's what you said. I think it's because their hair's so straight or so whatever that it just falls out, and ours it just stays in the thing. I can't imagine a scenario in which black women's hair. Well,
because my hair do be like there. To me, my hair is everywhere in the bathroom specifically. Like, and I have that expectation with all women that like you probably got hair everywhere in the bathroom. But I'm like, why is this shit just like in the fridge? Like, how did it get into the fridge?
That's a bit much.
And then she was
in the fridge.
I hope Brittny listens to this. Brittny is one of my best friends from college, and we all lived together with this girl at one point. Who I again, if you ever hear this girl, I actually really fuck with you. But she was like, one day she was cooking, and I was like, "What are you making?" And she was like, "Oh, I'm making some like chicken, and she was like, but I didn't have any barbecue sauce, so I made some like homemade barbecue sauce, and she had just mixed like ketchup and mustard together.
Close.
We were like, what?
Prison style barbecue. All right.
Like,
Whatever.
I was just saying, like, nigga, you been in jail.
Prison style BBQ sauce.
Like,
Okay.
did you do a bid before you came here? Like,
All
what
right.
is this?
All right.
Also,
Creative.
we have stores. Like,
I'd be more than happy. You know, you can go to the cafe and
That
pick
shit is
up
hella
a
funny.
barbecue packet on your way home.
Yeah, but I also think it's probably where you grew up on top of that, because I'm sure a lot of my Bay Area white friends don't exist like that. But
Yeah, and
It's
especially we were so young back then. Like, I would hope that people have learned how to live.
you don't know, because
Live
I feel like the fact that like when COVID hit, there had to be like, you know, a bunch of videos about how to wash your hand appropriately. I don't really know.
And the
that-
whole shower debacle where
and it was never targeted towards black people.
never.
None of those deliveries was
We
like, here,
didn't.
hey, black people, let me teach you how to wash your hands.
Let me teach you how to
niggas.
Dougie while also scrubbing your hands.
Right,
Yeah,
like,
it wasn't
no. They were
Nah.
like, y'all niggas know how to do that. This is
Yeah.
for everybody else. So.
Mm-mm-mm.
But yeah.
Okay.
Oh, there's more I forgot.
Winter or summer?
Summer.
Hmm.
I hate winter. No. Let me not say that.
The
Sorry.
coldest winter or the hottest summer?
Hottest summer.
Okay.
This was the first year that everybody knows I'm a Cali girl. We don't really have winter for real.
Mhm.
California changed this year. I don't know what the fuck is going on with y'all.
The ozone.
But this is the first time I ever experienced seasonal depression. And I was like, oh no, I don't like this. I don't like this at all. So hottest summer.
I get that. Okay, a couple more. Power or money? Oh, I didn't.
Power.
Oh, okay. This one I thought might trip you up, but
Power, I can.
Mm.
That power. If I have power, that means I can get the money.
that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a workaround. Would you like to change the past or know the future?
I feel like it's know the future. I don't have a desire to change the past, and I feel like the fact that I be doing tarot cards and shit makes me feel like I must be trying to know the future before it hits
Look,
me.
I already know that. I
Yeah,
already know
okay.
the future. Last one. Phone or computer forever? If you had a phone forever, computer forever.
At this age, computer. I'm like, can I do everything that a phone does on a computer? I mean, literally, the answer is computer, just because I'm getting old and I need the screen to be bigger.
Yeah. That's not what I thought you were gonna say. I thought you were gonna be like, because I don't really need to like talk, because you turn your phone off on Sundays.
And I would do more days than Sunday if I could.
Yeah.
But no, I just am like, oh, I need the screen to be bigger.
That's real. That's so computer or iPad. That's real. Real.
Wait, power or money for you? What's yours? I feel like you would be money. You're like, I don't give a fuck about the power.
Yeah, I think I do more money. It's fine. I can get enough done with the money, so I don't need to be. I'm cool. I definitely money. Yeah.
I definitely need money.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. I would for sure take
I
that.
saw this one girl, I can't think of her name, but she's a YouTuber, and she only uses a flip phone now. She, I'm assuming she still somehow has access to her iPhone because she uploads videos and stuff, but I guess she just uses her flip phone as a flip phone. And I remember saying that I did want to do that. I feel like I would low-key love a flip phone.
I feel like you say that, but that means you're not getting on any form of social media or anything like that.
And when we were on the cruise, the one thing that I actually really did hate was that I couldn't look stuff up. Because, I'll have these, random ass thoughts during the day and, Google it. And you can't do that on a flip phone. Or you can, but it's very expensive. I remember this one time I got on the internet on my flip phone back in the day. I'm forever, I'm still traumatized. I'm still traumatized from that. Never again. So, yeah, that is true. But I don't know. I kind of think I'd like to.
Off the grid?
Maybe.
That's so interesting to me, because I feel like you be fighting me when I be like,
I go back and
on
forth.
Sundays. You're like, I keep talking about not doing that, and I'll be like, bitch, I don't give a how you feel about it.
I go back and forth about it because I'm like, there's this safety and security that unfortunately we kind of do need our phones. At the same time, it's probably literally killing us mentally.
Well, I just feel like a call. Like if something happened and because I'm always like, no, I'm not always at my house, but for the most part,
you leave your house without your phone?
Oh, absolutely. If I didn't need I leave the house with my phone off. The problem is that to get back into the gate into the complex I leave, I have to have my phone.
Yeah.
But no, I like if I didn't have to like do stuff like Monday through Saturday, there's shit to do on social media for the pod. There's all the other things to do. There's friends, whatever. But if I literally didn't have to do that, I would spend weeks with no phone.
Oh God! Just you saying that, I could not imagine that. I literally couldn't.
I would love it. It would be so great. I love that. What Kendrick? What he goes like a year without no phone. Yeah, and you get great creative work from it too. But yeah,
it's probably healthier. You're probably doing the most healthy thing. It's probably healthier to leave your phone alone.
Yeah, I mean, it would be hard to like. I don't know how I would exactly like meet up with friends and shit. Like send an email,
send smoke signal. If you see the pink smoke, that's Brittny. She wants to hang out.
But I'm also the type of bitch that's like, I want to go do like a 7-day silent meditation retreat and like go live in an ashram for a year or some shit like that. Like I don't know. I thoroughly do not enjoy the fact that just because we have the technology for it, people have an expectation that you should be super accessible to them.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it puts like pressure on how you choose your time. Like, I feel like I should spend my time how I want to spend it, but because I have a phone, people will, and then if it's like you don't answer texts or you ain't answer my. And bitch, it's my time. Like I do what I want with it.
Yeah.
But I know that that's a different age of individuals. And
that logic is very freeing for sure, because I do feel like I have to keep my phone on because someone wants to reach me.
Yeah, and
and like that's kind of like, what are they gonna do? I mean, they know the people who need to reach me know where I live. Worst case scenario is wait for me to get back if I'm not there.
I'm saying. I also think about that with kids and stuff. Like, damn, my kids, if I have a kid, like, they gonna really fight me about the fact that you're not having a phone until you're like 15. Like, oh yeah,
ooh, 15
late, and you're gonna be pissed. But the fact that the people who created the phone and these things and these apps don't allow their kids to have any of these things until their like brain is doing a better job at forming and functioning. Like, ain't no fucking way. No. And then also, I'm not gonna like put you in a position where you don't ever get to like be creative. Like, I feel like a lot of our creativity stems from those moments where we didn't have a lot of shit and we made some shit happen outside and we played outside and we created the thing and we used our imagination and we visualized and blah, blah, blah. It's like, if everything is just already, like, how do you create if everything is already always just, like, force-fed to you? So I'm like, and they're going to want to fight me about it, and I'm going to be like, damn, that's wild.
Yeah. I think, who said this? I really wish I remember who I had the conversation with, but they were talking about how the future of the world is really going to be about nature versus technology, and how like there's going to be people that are completely like
off the grid
nature, and there's going to be people that are completely technology. Because if you look at like AI, and I be joking about the Neuralink, and now I'm getting scared because I think it's really real.
Wait, this whole time you were joking about it, you didn't think it was real?
Not in the way that I thought about it.
That's why I was always confused. Why I'm like, bitch, you really about to do this? Like, they're really making chips that you can just put into your brain.
And like literally, like you can like exist in the like what I always thought that the Neuralink was, which is what Elon said, but is not true, is like a mechanism to fix differently, like Parkinson's and memory loss, and like it's a way to like fix different ailments. No, these people are really trying to make like real robots, like humanoid robots, which is insane.
Which is how like you keep your wealth. Like, you can enslave a larger amount of people that way.
And with this AI thing, like they're taking it to the point where we won't even be able to believe what we see, believe what we hear, believe what people say. they're completely shifting what reality is. And so anyway, it's going to be a duality between technology and nature. And I hope that I'm on the nature side always, even though technology has so many conveniences. But
it does have a lot of conveniences, but I also think it's funny that they're like, we're going to create this chip and it's going to help fix Parkinson's disease and Alzheimer's and blah, 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 which are symptoms of you having an unhealthy lifestyle because we force fed you processed food your entire fucking life.
They're not ready for that.
There are natural ways to actually combat all of those things.
All disease. But that is too cost efficient. So can't do that. Can't make money if people are well. Make money when people are sick. So which is really terrible.
Like,
so,
Wall-E is really gonna be a thing, bro. Like, people are
it really is.
Like,
ugh.
So our video stopped. You can the audio kept going, so if you want the rest there's about 20 minutes left in that episode. If you want the full audio, go there. But if you're about to stay here, because that's life, we were kind of just ending and wrapping up, saying kind of where you guys can find us. So we're gonna take a break. We are going to come back with one more bonus episode. We don't really have a placement of how long, but the best way for you to figure out when everything is happening or coming or all the things is to be on the Instagram, which is at @the_OA podcast, and the TikTok, which is at @the_OA podcast, and the YouTube, which is the Occasionally Accountable podcast.
Yes. That's where you'll find us.
And
or at least find the update.
Yeah, find an update. You want to talk about
last words?
Last words.
Yeah, I can go first.
Oh, go for it. Sorry.
Or you can go first.
No, you go ahead.
Okay. Well, it's still fresh in my brain. But yeah, I was saying, it's like, this experience has been such a great experience, and I really appreciate everyone who has like given us feedback and has been like, oh, we watched the pod and I love it. Like, thank you all so much for that, because I think the intention for this podcast has always been, showing up to this space authentically and allowing you all to find validation in your own feelings, and we do that so that can happen. And so it's really cool to see that actually happens. So thank you all so much for engaging with us. And as just like a final remark, I think, saying in the last clip, when I first started doing this, I'd never done anything like this, never considered myself a creative, never even really like understood this world of created. Like, you can really say stuff and people want to listen. Like, I never, that in my mind was never. I thought it was just this cool thing, a cool opportunity to have a conversation with a friend. And then it kind of turned into a lot more for me. And it was a space that I came every week to challenge myself and challenge my ability to show up authentically and be vulnerable on camera. And so, but that was hard, and there was a lot of hesitation throughout this process. In the beginning, there was hesitation, and all through it. But now that I've had some time to think about it, in those moments of hesitation, it was just really just fear and insecurity, not being secure in my voice and not being secure in my vision or my creative perspective or any of those things. But in those moments that I did lean into the fear, I experienced a lot of growth. I didn't want to come visual. And then we're visual, and it wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. So take that. It wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. I didn't die. Yeah, I didn't die. And I challenged myself and pushed outside of my comfort zone. And so I say that to say, like, in you all's life, when there are moments where you feel like you're hesitating, but you're in the right place, challenge that, because I think a lot of times it's just fear. You may not have a fear and insecurity like I did, but there is some sort of fear associated. And from my perspective, leaning in is where the growth happens. And it's not comfortable, it's not easy, but it's important. And I think everyone should really work to do that. So that's what I'm taking away from this experience. And I hope that you all can take that with you.
That's litty. My final thing is just, I really hope that, I hope that it was of service. I hope that it lands. I hope that it has been like useful as a way for people as kind of each week to have a moment to like literally stop and reflect. The world moves very quickly, and it's very easy to get caught up in our worlds and all the 8 million things going on. But I think growth lies in the space of being able to slow down and reflect, and not be distracted by all the 8 million things in the world, and really get to hone in on who you are and how do you feel and what do you believe, and um, how do you want to show up in the world? And as I kind of said before, this was a space for I want to, be the cliche ass thing of like be the change that you want to see. And we're moving, whether we like it or not, we are moving into a world that is very digital based, and it is a lot of fake positivity in that digital based space. It's like fake positivity or drama, and there is no like middle. And so it's super valuable to create a space in that realm that's like, hey, like those two things will cause you a lot of mental health issues. So let's have a space to be able to show up as human beings, because there's a lot of ways that like those two spaces lack humanity, and it strips people of their humanity. So like, let's come here and be human beings. Let's talk about what we're going through. Let's work through some like reflection around like how we're growing and how we see the world and how we want the world to be. Like, I feel like it's always just about creative wise, like what are you contributing to the world and how are you contributing it? And I just want the contribution to be something of value, something of love, something of use. And so I hope that it landed that way. This is the first time I've gone the route of trying to like produce a weekly show and also have like a consistency and a co-host and things of that nature. And yeah, I don't. It's just it is a creative journey, and the whole thing is a journey every freaking time. And just not really shying away from jumping in the water and navigating and figuring out that there's a lot less sharks than you think. And sharks ain't even that bad. You know what I'm saying? Sharks get a bad rap.
It's them dolphins.
It's
them dolphins.
Them dolphins is rapey as fuck. But anyways,
I mean, you can say rapey, but that's true.
They are. Them dolphins. Them niggas is wild, and they really smart. But yeah, I just hope that I hope that anything I do is of service. So
I think this was. I hope it was.
Yeah. So yeah, look to kind of see and hear what's going on and on the social medias.
Yes.
And yeah.
And that's it. Bye.
Adios.